Hey you. Hey you. This is a heads up. Do you ever blame people for making you angry, sad, making you feel down, for making you disappointed? Well, guess what? It isn't their fault. It's yours. What? Yeah, have a listen to this, because when you choose to feel the way you want to feel, life will never be the same again. It just gets better. Have a listen after this. Hey, welcome to the Personal Development Unplugged podcast. So pleased you're here. Your time is valuable and precious. So what I would like to do is fill that time that you share with me with the most shiny golden nuggets to help improve your life, to get your goals, your wishes, your dreams to come to fruition quicker, bigger, better than you could ever imagine, using your imagination, using hypnosis, using NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, all of that, using all things of the mind. No brain hacks, but real solid processes to deconstruct what people do to become great. And then find the processes that we can install that in ourselves to support you in your dreams and get what you really want in life. Anyway, who am I? I'm Paul Clough, and just going to have conversations with you in this podcast and get you thinking, but also share those processes because we're going to have so much fun. That's it. We're going to have fun for a change because we can sit down for a spell and have more fun than we can stand, creating the world we want to live in and be the person we want to be in that world. The only limitation is your imagination. And you got bucket loads, by the way, bucket loads. Have a listen. You really must.
This is Personal Development Unplugged with Paul Clough.
In simplicity, there is genius.
In simplicity, there is genius.
Hey, my friend. We're back again. Longer podcast. And usually I get inspired by things I've heard or read or something I want to model that creates notes to form an episode here for you to share things what I learn and what have you. But here's the thing. It happened to me just the other day. And this is where this episode all came from. Have you had days or a day? I know we all have, but I'm asking the question as if it's new. When things get you down, people get you down, or you just bloody feel down. I mean, I did. I had this morning where I was in my journal and I was going through it. And I even got to the point where I wrote, oh, what the fuck's the point? And even when I wrote that, I sort of put a smiley face beside it because I knew that wasn't quite true. And sorry about the swearing, but that's what I wrote because that's how I felt in that particular moment. And I kept thinking, well, people let me down. Things are letting me down. Things are getting me down. And I know that you know that there are some people that seem to enjoy that as well. And they stay there, don't they? And they get a habit of staying there. They're miserable buggers, they really are. And they even look for more. I've even heard people say, well, if it's going to happen to me, or if it's going to happen, it's going to happen to me. And guess what? It bloody happens to them. They create it, don't they? Now, I know most of us have all experienced the first thing I talked about. When we talk to ourselves and we actually say to ourselves, or even say to other people, you make me angry. You're getting me down. You're making me feel sad. I think we all have that. I think everyone's had it. Even in this world, our world of searching, learning to be the best version of ourselves. I call it the real you. And even then some. We all have this experience, even though we're on this lovely, adventure. This adventure to find what life's all about, to enjoy life. Still comes and knocks us off course, doesn't it? It does. You get me down. This place gets me down. And the thing is, this is for you. because I know that you're here to change and change this. Others will only change, by example or by watching you to show them the way. But that's for them to follow you, because this is you we're talking about. I'm talking about you, because unless you haven't had that situation where you've said that in your head or out to somebody out loud, this episode's not for you. But if it is, I've got a kicker for you. And what's that kicker, Cluffy? Well, here's the kicker. Nobody brings you down. Nobody. People do not bring you down. Now, I know some people say, well, yeah, but Cluffy, I've been in a room and someone's come into that room and they're not so good, feeling down, and the atmosphere goes down and we all feel down. Or someone comes into the room and they're feeling good and we all feel good. Yeah, I know that we can, and that's that thing about learning from others, maybe watching and feeling. And I know we communicate with our non-verbals. And you could say we connect, we're all connected in some way, so we get that energy. But you have to choose. And this is where we're going to, because things like the weather does not bring you down. It's raining, so what? It's cloudy, so what? It's sunny. It doesn't make you happy because it's sunny. You can be happy and it's sunny. You can be happy and it's raining, because some people in a drought love the rain. It's context driven, I know, but the weather doesn't bring you down. People disappointing you doesn't bring you down, doesn't make you sad. They don't. Nobody. Whatever you can think of, no thing brings you to feel something. Negative or positive, not just the negatives. Nothing in this world does it to you. I can hear you saying to yourself, he's gone. Really, Cluffy? Are you really saying that? You see, they're just excuses. Or you could say challenges. Because the only person who creates that emotion in you is you. You choose to feel, react that way, to feel and act. No one can make you. No one can make you feel anything at all. You know, there's, as I say, different circumstances, different people, different experiences. They all choose to act and react differently to a similar event happening. And I suddenly thought, while I was in the middle of sort of making these notes, but looking at my journal, I got in my bookcase, Viktor Frankl, Man's Search for Meaning. And I thought, I know there's some quotes in there that really make a difference. And he said, the last human freedom, the ability to choose one's attitude in a given set of circumstances. The ability to choose one attitude, behavior, maybe, emotion. And then he went on to say, everything can be taken from a man and woman and everything else, but one thing, the last of human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given circumstances, to choose one's own way. Well, bloody hell, I'm onto something here. And then there was another one, and this is the one I think I was looking for. When we are no longer able to change the situation, we are challenged to change ourselves. Why? Because you bloody can. He did it in the most dire, horrible circumstances, and other people have done it as well. But he wrote about it and shared it with us just to show an example. So we're going to live by example. And then I found this one. Now you listen to this one. I'm sorry, I don't want to make it that way, but I found this so interesting. Between stimulus and response, there is a space. And in that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and freedom. And I thought, I'm not going to swear, I thought, bloody hell, that is awesome. Between stimulus and response, there is a space. And in that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and freedom. Whoa, I thought to myself, bloody whoa. And the thing is, we don't need to go through that experience to learn this, do we? To me, it just resonates. And it got me out of the thought that I was having and writing. How far? I thought, yeah, it is. The thing is, I bloody knew this. And I think you know this. But it's a great cop-out, isn't it? Oh, you make me sad. You make me angry. It's just an excuse. It's a way we can, say cop out, we can swerve, taking responsibility. But we don't need his experience or to go through his experience to learn this. But the thing is, was Viktor Frankl superhuman? Or any of those wonderful people you know of who have gone through struggles and created massive change in the world? Were they superhuman? Were they extra special superhumans? Were they extraordinary? Well, a little bit. But the thing is, no, they weren't. They weren't. They were all and are all, if you've got people alive today that are doing this stuff, they're all ordinary people. Really? Yeah, they're ordinary people doing extraordinary things. They chose to do extraordinary things, to go another level, to take responsibility where others won't. Why? Because they could. They chose. I talk about David Goggins, the Navy SEAL. And he says, and I think it's brilliant, be uncommon in a group of uncommon people, which is like being an ordinary person doing extraordinary things, isn't it? Now, all of that, it's a big ask, isn't it, to be totally uncommon in a group of uncommon people. But what? Is it impossible? Is it impossible to be able to replicate in some way, shape or form those type of actions? Absolutely bloody not, is it? It's a big ask, but it's oh so doable when we set our intention. And the thing is, we just don't just set our intention. They didn't just set their intention once and go, oh, that's it done. No, they did it every bloody day. Every day, most probably more times in a day too. So it's up to us how we choose not to be pulled down and not to give excuses. It's up to us. You've got to choose. We're going to be uncommon in a little group of uncommon people before we become big uncommon in a big group of uncommon people. We can be doing little extraordinary things, being an ordinary person. And then we're going to do bigger extraordinary things, being an ordinary person. Leading by example, just like everyone else has done. Because you can, if you set your intention. But the thing is, you have to break the pattern. You have to. Pattern interrupt sort of thing. We call it a pattern interrupt in NLP terms. So you're in a process, something you don't like, you have to break that and interrupt the pattern so you can do something different. So here's one thing I do, and I think it's brilliant because it's quite satisfying, really. And I give myself, so you give yourself 5 minutes. What? Yeah, give yourself 5 minutes. Put it on your phone, put it on an alarm, put it on anything, look at the clock, and give you 5 minutes to feel really shit. To be so angry, so sad, so depressed, so disappointed, so guilty, so every bloody thing. 5 minutes. If you can, write it down. Get it out of your head. Shout at your... I do. I write it in my journal and I shout at my unconscious mind. You're not bloody helping me and this is that. Blah, blah, blah. And just go for it. If there's no one around, shout it out loud. But make sure there is no one around because we don't want them to think that you're being really angry at them. You're just getting it out of your bloody head. And in 5 minutes, but no more. But you've got 5 minutes now. You're giving yourself permission to go for it. Feel as down as you like, to shit as you like, whatever it is. And when it's done and the alarm's gone off, it's finished, that's it. You've done. And you can then decide. And you make this is the stopping and the pausing now between. You've broken the pattern. You've interrupted the pattern of that feeling, those thoughts, those silly thoughts. They're silly because we know they're wrong. We know they're excuses. And we decide, was that feeling, was that moaning, were those excuses doing me any good? Was it improving my life? Were they improving my life? Were they the way I want to feel? What would it cost me? What are the consequences of staying like that? And also, what are the consequences if I changed and decided to feel the way I want to be? So you ask yourself, having asked yourself that question, the answer is obviously bloody no, and the consequences are worse than that. So you ask yourself the question, Well, what would I like? What would be the way I want to feel right now? How would I like to behave right now? How would I like to be, believe, feel that would positively make a difference right now? Now, some people might go, well, I want to go to total calmness, total control. Now, that might be too big a jump. And then we get overwhelmed, because I know it's an excuse, what Paul said, and I know it's right, and if I get there, we'll be able to do it, but it's too big a jump. Well, break the steps down to moving from where you are or where you were to where you want to be. Now, I think I've already talked about this, and I know that hashtag 11, and I think it's hashtag 28, I've talked about changing the way you feel. Now, I'm not sure if it's this particular way. I think it is, and there's also, I think, a hypnosis track, either 11 or 28, something like that, changing the way you feel. And I'm not sure if it's the same way, but I'm sure it is. I know I've talked about it before. But you see, when it's too big a jump, you make the step smaller. So if you're feeling down and you really want to go to, you fill in the blank, I want to be really calm, I want to be this, I want to be happy. I'm really, really feeling really down and I want to feel really happy. Too big a jump. So let's just say I'm feeling down at the moment then. Okay, what would it be if I could just go to, say, neutral? That type of, I don't care. It's okay. Okay, I could feel that now. I could take down to that, or maybe down to a little bit of sadness. And then I could feel a little bit sad. And then I go from a little bit sad to neutral. And then from neutral, I could go, well, I'm okay. Yeah, that feels pretty good. I'm okay. And then I could just go to maybe feeling a little bit happy. Not a lot, just a little bit. And then you go to where you want to go. Can you see how those little steps are so easy to do, to change the way you feel in those tiny little increments? And you'll get there. And it takes about 5 minutes to do that type of thing, at the very most, when you set your intention. And you have this wonderful thing called motherfuckertude. I've got the will to do whatever it takes. I'm just going to do it. I'm not going to be given any more excuses. I'm not going to be held. People do not make me feel this way. I'm going to choose to be the way I want to be. When you have that attitude, that intention, you'll be able to change the way you want to feel in those little steps. And those little steps will get bigger as you get more used to it. And in fact, you'll just change. This isn't the consequence of me staying like this and giving these excuses is absolutely rubbish. It's just going to get worse and worse and worse. How do I want to feel? Well, I want to feel this. Okay, let's change it. You decide the way you want to feel. Now, you could even just check where you want to go and ask, is this going to really make a difference to me? And then just do it. That's all you do. Let's just do it. So if you're feeling down, you have that 5 minutes. Yeah, get it out of your system. Ask that question. Is it making a difference to me? Positive. No. What are the consequences of feeling this shit? Well, it's going to be even worse if it carries on, Paul. Okay, fine. How do I want to feel? Well, I want to feel just neutral. I want to feel okay, so I can get curious about what's happening. Okay, change in small steps. But then, half hour later, or just 5 minutes later, review. Just stop and pause for a moment. Check into yourself. How am I doing? Yeah, I'm getting that little bit better. Thank you. Feel a little bit of gratitude for that. Could well be, boom, it'll change completely there and then. Maybe you want to pick one of those hypnosis tracks to help you change and then review it. How do you feel now? And the way you do it, you think you check on that thing that was supposedly making you down, sad, whatever that negative emotion was. And you look back at it now and you go, well, how does it make me feel now? Can I get that old feeling back? Well, actually, no, I can't. I feel different about it. How do I feel? Well, I feel more positive. Okay, cool. And if I look to the future and have this positivity, what's that going to allow me to do? Yeah. What a wonderful way to review. Just pause and check in. Now, when you know that, you can do so many other wonderful things because you know now a little bit where you want to go. So you might say, well, who do I know does that type of thing? I want to model them. So maybe you even read things like Viktor Frankl's Man's Search for Meaning, or other great books that tell you of what people have achieved because you're going to model them. I wonder how they thought. Because even if you don't know how they thought, you can make it up. Well, they must have had this in their mind. This is a picture they must have made in their mind. This is a belief they must have had about themselves. And you can model that. Take on what you choose to take on, which you know will make a positive difference with yourself, and then practice it. Set it down in your journal. Set it down in your goals. You see, we've got the 5 keys to success, and we've talked about this hundreds and hundreds of times. But for those who haven't been here hundreds and hundreds of times, or just a little review for yourself. What are the 5 keys to success? The first one, know what you want, your goal, your dream, how you want to feel maybe, how you want to be, how you want to react. It's your goal, your aim in mind. Second step, take massive, intuitive, and I say continuous action, just like we've just said. And you take that action. And as you're taking that action, you have an awareness. The third step, be aware, which is that review. Where am I along this path to where I want to be? Am I off course? Am I further ahead, further back? Take a review, because then you can have the 4th step, which is have that flexibility. The flexibility to change what you're doing, to make sure you get back on track, or even to a better place. Maybe that goal gets richer now because you've seen something. I'm now going to change the way I am and change my goal a little bit and get even a richer reward, a richer result. And how do you do that? It's called acting as if. And acting as if is acting as if you've got that goal, if you've got that feeling. Because if you act like that, you've got it. And it's with the psychology and physiology of excellence. So how would you think? What pictures would you make in your mind? What belief would you have? What you say to yourself? Just as we said it, what those people we could model, what they have. And the physiology of excellence, how would you stand, act, move, breathe, do if you achieve that goal? Act as if. Put them all together, no one will ever make you feel anything because you'll choose. That's wrong. No one makes me feel this way. Nothing outside makes me feel this way. I choose, and I choose to feel, you fill in the blank. And then we're really going to start developing the richness of the real you again. Because you're taking control. And when you take control, you're at cause. When you're at cause, you feel total empowerment. Everything changes. Everything changes. And you start to grow, and you grow on that, and we strive and we stretch. We're brave, and we become that uncommon person in a group of uncommon people. And we decide who and what we want to be in that gap between stimulus and response. There you go. I hope you enjoyed that little rant. I hope that inspires you to just remember, if you are feeling the way you don't want to feel, you've got the way now. You always have the way to change and decide. Take action. Be at cause. Be empowered. And show the world this is how we can all be. And get the rewards, the richness of rewards for doing this, because you will. Inspire other people, just like those other people inspired you, me. It doesn't have to be as big as that. Just put it this way. And I think about this sometimes. If you inspired one person this week to do something like that, that would be awesome. And if we all did that, like pay it forward, it would grow exponentially, if that's the right word. It would blow up in wonderfulness. So do choose. And if you ever see anybody who's not feeling so good, tell them about this. Share this episode if you would. Because it's so important that we aren't living in the life of excuses, reasons, the why nots. It'll make a difference. Thank you so much for your time. So valuable. Hopefully there's a golden nugget or two in here, and we can all start choosing. Choosing to be the real us, and letting our real us show up. Be brave, because it's good fun. Anyway, have more fun than you can stand. Enjoy every heartbeat and all that lovely stuff. Share and be who you really are. Allow it to come through and show the world who you really are. Till the next time, my friend, just remember, whatever you think you are, you're more than that. It's time to fly. Ta-da.
Warning, you are now leaving the unplugged mind of Paul Clough. It's time to fly on your own. Be brave, my friend.
Personal Development Unplugged.